Better have kept my notes. Okay. Thank stars. Get rid of you. That should make it slightly less laggy. Hello there! Already we got an amazing guest. Okay. Now we're going to see how many more decide to join us. Usually takes about 5-10 minutes. Some streams they haven't even showed up. But while you're here, do you have any what ifs to recommend? That could be Dragon Ball, The Walking Dead, anything and everything. Basically, it could even be crossover stuff and just span the mind, basically. Also, I hope you like the background. I kind of thought of what if Lori never cheated on Rick, but that might be the same thing as what if Shane survived. I have made what if Rick never got into a coma, which would cover that, and I plan to do a remake of that, and a few other scenarios where that kind of happens. What if Shane survived? That would be different because making him survive would be making him survive from that point. It's kind of weird. The detailing would be like Rick basically would not have to get into a coma for Lori to cheat on him. Where are the people? And nobody wants to join. They're crazy. Q&A is on. Q&A is on. Hopefully they should be joining here within the next few minutes. But yeah, you can definitely recommend other stuff other than that. But yeah, what if Rick never got into a coma? That would be the best premise to add to that. Yeah. Yeah, let's just lag for no reason. Because that makes sense. While you're thinking of that, not sure if this could work. What if the governor found Rick in Atlanta before Glenn? I do have the governor. Yeah, that'd be kind of eh. But I do have the governor meeting Rick early, which is also something Nitro Storm and Super Savage 789 have done. And it's going to be basically revolving Rick after the CDC meeting other groups early, the governor, Negan, CRM, bunch of other groups. So that's the closest you're going to get. Besides that, though, I want to tell you specifically, since I'm making it a Omniverse feature and I've already explained what I'm going to be doing, I'm actually going to go to show you a little bit of the work on the McQueen story to explain it a little bit more. Share screen. Share screen. Hey. How about we share the screen? Thank you. Like, God. So basically, whenever the McQueen story ends, and I have Rick basically join McQueen and join Radiator Springs, that portal creation and basically what sparks the beginning and end of this story is going to make other what if characters from old past what ifs eventually collide. This is the startup to why channel is called the Omniverse of Nick, which is only a later development in it that I decided to add. And I'm basically going to collide not only other what ifs, but different timelines. So you're basically eventually on this channel near the end of it, going to see things like the Time Patrol, the TVA from Marvel, Doctor Strange and his a million visions of that, as well as other time managements and other like genres and franchises make themselves known until you literally have on this channel a compendium of every what if that I can literally think of to put in one. Someone joked that it was going to be Nick's Cinematic Universe, and I would have called my channel that, but money. Don't want to get sued. And basically, more and more, I'm going to start introducing the Time Patrol and the TVA and everything. And basically, eventually, all of those combined universal time people and all that are going to collide It's going to be messy, messy, messy work and hard to pull off. But if I could do McQueen in The Walking Dead and other things, I can do it. And that's what makes my channel different than all the other What If people. It's because I'm going to go the length that none of them will. Still waiting for people. I don't know if you heard all about what I said or if you have any more ideas at the moment. Whenever we get more people in here, this should definitely help you be introduced to the majority of fans that have not met you and probably get more ideas up and running. I did, just can't think of anything at the moment. It's all right. That reminds me of something. Now that you've officially commented and I actually know about it and this, that, and the other thing, I am going to do something really important. Customization. If I can find it. Analytics. Can't. Where the frig are you? Settings. channel. Keywords, what if, community, managing moderators. Save. So, along with King Devin, you are now promoted to be my second moderator on the channel. So that means you can be in charge of determining whether trolls are in the stream or not. Along with King Devin, you can officially take KJ's place, who was eventually kicked and banned after basically acting very irrationally on the Discord and eventually turning to YouTube and attacking me and everything. He was attention seeking and more or less a kid in many aspects. But I just went about it coolly because there's going to be plenty of trolls and people in the world. So you officially are the second moderator besides King Devin. Something else too. I'm going to have to go back to it. And it's something to do while we're waiting for more people. Figure, why not? Earn. Okay. Share screen. Earn on YouTube. So I'm going to show this real quick. So I want to show you this because you probably haven't seen it yet. I started a membership thing, and the only member is my other account, Triforceful God, which used to be my Pro Gamer Nick account and my What If Fight account. But I did it by accident because I was testing out how the membership thing worked. But there's an intro video, and then I made this. Universe level, $4.99, and these are loyalty badges of custom picks that I found online and ones that I've already made. And here's the things. And then multiverse level, I named all the levels. And then here's and then Omniverse level is $9.99. Gift of 20 what ifs you can recommend in a day, and shout out to everyone who's member and comments. And then as for supers and other things, that doesn't really matter. More or less, I just wanted to show you that stuff. What if T-Dog and Carol swapped? If they swapped places entirely, it's just, no, you can't really do that with their characters and who they were. It's too much of a dynamic, especially because they're opposite genders. Most of the swapping places what ifs that I've been recommended have been people of the same gender. Actually, over 90% of them have been of the same gender. We haven't got any what ifs yet. Kaz has been here for a minute, and we seem to be actually getting more people in here, but hey, we still got plenty of time. All right, my YouTube's still the same and everything. Maybe there's some quick memo stuff that I saved recently that I can bring up. That would definitely liven things up until we get more people. Or until we get more ideas, whatever. I especially want to bring something up whenever we do get a bunch of people. Oh, here's something I really want to bring up. So, you probably are all familiar, Dragon Ball fans, of Frieza's third form resembling the xenomorphs from the Alien movies, right? And you Alien fans out there are obviously know about them. Well, I thought of something recently because I was watching a kill count from Dead Meat from the Alien movies, and it got me on something. What if Frieza met the xenomorphs and then took inspiration off of one of them for the design and grotesque form of his third transformation, and then actually put them in the actual show and actually make them do something instead of shrugging them off? Because if I shrugged them off and he just took inspiration, there'd be no point in putting them in the story. So the obvious remedy would be to put them in a story. Besides that, there's not too much else to talk about, but that's something really interesting. What if Merle didn't let Michonne go? People recommended me that, and the closest that you're going to get to seeing that kind of idea is what if Andrea lived instead of Michonne? Like, Andrea replaces Michonne. So, yeah. Hello, Gargiulio. What if Carol never killed the sick people in the prison, or what if she was never exiled? I don't think anyone's ever recommended me do that. Yeah. No one has ever recommended me do that. I can actually do that. Why didn't I think of doing that? So that's the first idea. What if Chris survived and several other Chris what ifs in Fear the Walking Dead and outside of it are planned and saved for the future? What if Maggie got the prison sickness instead of Glenn? Well, the only thing that would change then is that Glenn would take up half the dynamic for Maggie, and it would all pretty much be the same, except the character dynamics would only be switched up until Terminus. So overall, it wouldn't be too much of a story. Yeah, the dynamic would only be changed up until Terminus. Oh, while we're on it, and I was talking about the Time Patrol and the TVA and adding Omniverse stuff and like stuff that I've been talking about, how many people here have seen what just came out, Deadpool and Wolverine? Now, I haven't seen the movie, but I've been seeing clips off YouTube, especially of the two of them fighting mainly, and a very interesting two cameos. What if Terminus and Logan are swapped? They're not relatable enough to be swapped. Apparently, Henry Cavill, the guy that used to play Superman, he cameoed as a variant Wolverine. Not the main one that Hugh Jackman plays, but another variant. But that's all I'm going to say. If Teddy's cult and Terminus swapped. No, that would not be possible. Because Teddy's cult, they had the submarine and the nukes. And it just would be very hard to implement that whole prospect of Teddy's cult to the Terminus place and put Terminus in some form of level near where Teddy's cult was. Hi. What if Carol wasn't exiled? I'm still surprised that I never thought to do that. Or that no one ever recommended me that idea. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like always, guys. When and if a story of yours works and I save it and I go to do it, if I forget to, which is definitely going to happen because I have over 200 ideas saved, but if I ever forget to say who recommended me the thing, tell me and I will shout you out for recommending me the idea. But it just depends because many of the ideas I think of as well as you guys tell me. So it varies, you know? But never forget, like, for the future, like, if you recommend something and I forget, you could tell me and you will get a shout out for recommending me the idea. I will definitely not cut you guys short of that reward. You guys deserve it. You guys have given me plenty of good ideas for this channel. What if Glenn died instead of Oscar? Well, if they went back to Woodbury, no, that would be impossible. Glenn was with Michonne outside of Woodbury. Glenn and Michonne specifically did not go. But, so, that wouldn't work. What if Andrea was bit instead of Amy? That's saved. What if the governor successfully took the prison? Well, if he did that, I gotta think. Because I'd still have to force Rick's group out, because I can't do the what if with the governor killing Rick and everybody there, because then the story's over. But I can do it. It's just that I will have to force Rick's group out and then get it to a point where the governor is able to take hold of the prison without completely going bonkers on it and doing what he did. So congratulations! You've got the first 2 ideas for the stream there, Kaz. What if Tomas killed Rick with walkers? Well, Tomas would never be able to replace Rick, so that can't happen. He would get killed instantly, and the group would be leaderless. Tomas surviving, as well as several other prisoner what-ifs, closest you're going to get to some kind of struggle with the character Tomas. Other than that, Tomas is no Rick Grimes. He would get killed instantly. Shane is much better equipped for a story of killing Rick than Tomas, because Shane was far away enough from people and it had some kind of detail and story to go with it. But Tomas, spur in the moment, it would literally just beetle drive the story into a freaking curb stomping end. What if the group didn't save Randall? Well, since we know that Randall's group is practically the guys, which is still what if saved, by the way, they were pretty much the guys that went to Terminus. And they had no kind of threat or buildup, just literally the guys at the bar and Randall. So I've done this in my Madison story, and it's going to happen in my McQueen story, where Randall gets left. And honestly, that just means that there would be less tension on the farm. And Shane would most likely still try to kill Rick, but it wouldn't be over Randall. And there would just be, and Dale would most likely be alive too. After that, story would most likely go the exact same, with Shane and Dale probably dying shortly after, just in a different way. What if Jimmy survived? I have What If Jim Survived done and What If Jim Survived the remake. For Jimmy, honestly, I have other characters taking a role as a central what if surviving. But as for him, not so much. I have him surviving at later points, and it's still a trend depending on how the story goes. But as a central plot, he can't really do much. Not with him. I want to wait until there's at least a few more people before I make important announcement for those who didn't see it. Because it's big, because a lot of you have been looking forward to it. What if Andrea killed Daryl? Well, Daryl is a 2-season spin-off character, and you got no one to replace Daryl in that sense. So the story almost takes a nosedive. You can't really do anything there. Hello. Just letting you know I'm here but won't be chatting. Okay. You just don't have any ideas for the stream today? If that's the case, that's perfectly fine. What if Jenner escaped the implosion with Rick? I have what if Jenner survived saved already. And I have several other Jenner themed things, especially with McQueen's story planned for the future. What do you mean your ideas aren't good? I've saved like several bunches of your ideas. You mean the ideas that you have thinking of right now, like the boys and other things? I mean, I get it if it's stuff that I don't watch and anything, but the ideas that you've recommended and everything like that, I have them saved and everything. What if Madison joined Virginia? That's saved. What if Michonne didn't eat the protein bar? Why does everyone mention the frickin' protein bar? Okay, I thought you were selling yourself short and you felt like I wasn't on board enough with the ideas that you have recommended. You had me worried there. Oh, by the way, you've probably met Kaz already, but he's here in the stream. He joined first. This is the first official Q&A fully, and he is the second moderator in place of KJ. So King Devin and Kaz, you both are the two moderators of my channel so far. I'll add more in the future, depending on who. It's all about who you can trust to get rid of trolls, stuff like that. It's okay. Take your time. What if Rick never found the tank in the middle of the road? Well, if he never found the tank, he would die because the grenade was in the tank. And it was pretty much all down to that. And there were plenty of walkers around the area, so he would kill. To be killed. The story's over. Story's over. What if Morgan committed suicide, that would destroy his character and kill Fear, as well as the fact it would rob us freaking of the eventual Morgan and Rick reunion we're still going to get. What if Rick and Daryl didn't meet Jesus? They would probably still encounter the hilltop at some point or another. It would probably just be a little bit later, but it wouldn't change much. But the big change is that they would have the food truck, and it wouldn't have gotten sunk. Oh, and now that there are plenty of people here, I want to show you guys something very special, considering the fact that it's going to be live. Not live, but you guys are finally going to see the story of it whenever next Friday comes. So, many of you have been looking forward to the story, and ignore the second down there because I already made a post about it and everything like that. And I got rid of it in my pre-recorded video of the first part yesterday. Yes, the first part's finally pre-recorded. This story is finally happening. I made you guys the promise that beginning of August, middle of it, you'd see this story. And yep, first part's already done. I'm just as excited to make it as many of you are to see it. What if Negan never turned bad? Well, that would have to involve Lucille not dying, which I've done, plan to do a remake of it, and several other similar plots. Get out of here. Thank you. I didn't want to share my screen anymore. If they had the food truck, they might not need to make the deal with Hilltop, which initially got them into trouble with Negan. I also touched upon that in my Eastman story, as well as my Dale one? Yeah. So ultimately, it would just be a similar plot to those, and it would just be too similar to the original story to make a story. So, not doing it. That's why I want to make video. That's why I freaking make videos that have stories, even if it's just a one-parter or an analysis. I want to do something that you guys like. Lightning McQueen would go. Yep. What if Judith joined the ones who live? Technically speaking, her and RJ did join the ones who live. But how do you specifically mean? I mean, that's more or less half a joke because I can guess what you mean. But how do you actually mean it? What if the hospital took Daryl instead of Beth? That's saved. What if the show never found evidence of Rick being alive? I gotta think. As for yours, Kaz, honestly, how out there it was to find that in the first place, I don't think that it would be right robbing the audience and just the story of that development. So I'm honestly going to have to say no. And as for Judith and Michonne leaving to find Rick, I'm also going to have to say no to that. Because Judith didn't even know about the development of Michonne possibly having the evidence of Rick until she was already on her way to go ahead and do it. So for Judith just to randomly, for Michonne to just randomly wait, especially still when the Whisperers were present, it's just, that would create too many freaking farces and timing of all those events and really out of their elements, I'm going to say it would be too much of a hassle. I'm going to have to say no. But we got two that Kaz recommended. Carol not being exiled and the governor taking the prison. And wouldn't you know it, those are both season 4 what ifs. I just noticed that. How would Michonne end up in France instead of Daryl? Epic silence. Man, I wish I had a freaking sound effect of crickets right now from SpongeBob. I can still do the France one. I just want to know how it happens. What if Abraham's family didn't leave him? We barely know about Abraham's family at all, so making what ifs about them is moot. Also, I want to talk to you guys about something. I want to hear your guys' opinion on the matter. Even King Devin, if you're there too, I want to hear your opinion on it too. So you guys all know that I reached 1K recently, right? And I'm making money now off the platform and everything. I looked into it, and to make it a full-time job and actually focus on it fully, like completely, I already kind of do, but to have it relied upon as my job, which is literally what I'm doing this for, you have to have 100,000 subs. So funny enough, I'm 1% there now that I'm at the 1,000 mark. I want to ask you guys your opinion. With everything that I have planned and all the stuff that's going to be happening, along with the tons of ideas saved, do you guys think that in 3 years I can get to 100,000? Because that's also when I plan to be done with the current job that I'm working at and pretty much stick to here full time anyway. But I want to hear your guys' opinion if you think that we can make it to that milestone. Because I think that we definitely can. 3 years? And we've almost had this channel for 3 years. September 23rd or 28th, it will be the 3rd year anniversary of this channel. Saviors and Pioneers. I think you've recommended that one before, and honestly, with what we know about the Pioneers and everything, I think I have that saved already. Negan and Virginia swapping. I think I have that saved. Another moment of epic silence. Maybe Daryl lives in season 10 and finds Virgil? I have a what if like that saved. But for that plot, you know what? Why not? So what do you guys think? Do you think we can make it to 100,000 in 3 years? What if the Reapers attack the Commonwealth? I have something like that happening in my Dale story. Overall, I don't think I have a what if for it saved. And honestly, I can't really think of a plot for it. Might be possible. If you didn't hit it, I bet you would be pretty close. Really depends on how the algorithm treats you. Yeah. What if the governor found the claimers? That happened in my Sophia story. But as a central plot, since I already touched upon it in a good length in my Sophia story, I just watched that one for specifics. Because otherwise, it would be rehashed material. Kind of. But yeah, the France Michonne going instead of Daryl, that's saved. So that's 3 for the stream so far. North Dakota didn't shoot John Dory. Well, that would mean John Dory lives, which that's saved, along with him meeting other people, going to different groups, being in the Atlanta camp, and many John Dory what ifs already being saved. All right, so I already talked about the memberships. I talked about asking if you guys thought I could get to 100,000 in 3 years, which some of you still haven't answered. I'm going to let you guys stew upon that question at your own time, because I definitely think that it can be possible. I talked to you guys about the Lightning McQueen project next Friday. Talked to you guys about the what ifs that I just talked about earlier. I don't think I have anything to touch base upon, really. Besides that, next Friday, whenever I start uploading the McQueen story, I'm going to be taking a hiatus off of my hiatus, since I was taking a break from like production stuff, as I told you guys. And actually getting back to work on production stuff. I'm at least going to work on the Tatum and Gollum stories that you guys saw on that list. And then when I get those 2 done, I'm going to go back on break and then wait a few stories and then go back on break again, just to like catch up with a lot of games that I'm playing, and just so I feel more accomplished that I did a lot of work on stories, and it just makes me feel better overall. I love being ahead of the game and doing that kind of stuff. What if Jim killed Shane? Jim would not be able to kill Shane. And someone else asked me that before too. What if Shane killed Rick in season 1 is saved already, as well as a remake to the original Shane killing Rick? If Morales stayed with the group, I finally found a way to make that story work. So yeah. What if Terminus and Martha? I have Martha being a part of the Whisperers, and that's kind of it for Martha. She wasn't a cannibal. She was just a crazy lady, and her being part of the Whisperers is literally the best thing that you could do involving Martha. But as a central character or idea, there's really nothing to put. But that's 3 ideas. What if the Atlanta camp was attacked by walkers before Rick arrived for the first time? Jim from Fear, I feel, didn't do much, so pointless. Merle killing the governor happened in my Merle living instead of Daryl story. That's the closest you're going to get. What if the Atlanta camp was attacked by walkers before Rick arrived? Well, then pretty much everyone there, bar it like very few, would have died without Rick or Glenn or anyone there. Because you got to remember, if Rick's not arriving for the first time, that includes Glenn, T-Dog, Morales, Jackie, and Andrea, and Merle, who really didn't do much until season 3. So you're taking out a lot of mains along with taking out a lot of mains. So at that point, the story is almost over. And it'd be really pointless to begin on such a note and go down on such a dramatic level. What if Emil survived? That's saved. Definitely. Because Emil was actually a really good Fear the Walking Dead character. What if Shane didn't save Carl and Lori? That idea is actually split into 2 parts. What if Shane didn't save Carl and Lori? 2 separate what ifs. And then as an added bonus, I think the combined what if of what you're recommending is saved, but separately I think is better, which I do have them saved separately. People have recommended me that, and I think that I've refused because it would have defeated his purpose of moving to Fear in the first place. And I think the way they wrote it into him not being able to get back until season 8 was enough. What if Shane was a coma instead of Rick? That's saved. What if Annie's group in Fear? Annie? Yeah, I saw them now. Their group was nothing like Terminus. You gotta make characters swap that are able to be swapped, that are very similar in a situation. Otherwise, there's almost no point in it. I feel that it was Rick's goal at one point or another, and it definitely demonstrated it later on, that you have to get feral at one point in the zombie apocalypse. He only went feral, really, when he bit the guy's throat out. Other than that, he never went feral. Got about 10 minutes left. Even if we got 3 ideas, it's all right. What if Carl went missing instead of Sophia? That's saved. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to touch base upon. Other than saving a lot of horror movie what ifs. I've been saving crossover stuff with The Terrifier, Carrie, Jason Voorhees, Pennywise, Megan, and a lot of other things. Mainly because of watching kill counts. It's given me a lot of ideas for saving other stuff like that. What if the Pioneers and Woodbury swapped? See, that you can do. No one's ever recommended that Virginia and the governor swap before, so that can be done. All right, so that's number 4 for the stream. What if Pete wasn't abusive? The closest you're going to get to that is my Eastman story, where I actually turn him good. And I've already done that. I have Padre and other community swapping, but as for the Commonwealth, I'm going to have to say no because of how Padre was and how different they are to the Commonwealth. But I do have a question for you guys. How many of you, specifically, since I didn't ask it in the community post and I didn't specifically ask it here, how many of you that are here right now are looking forward to the McQueen Walking Dead story? Because I know it's a lot, but I want to hear, especially from the comments here, because this is the last Q&A before that story starts next Friday. And since so many people are looking forward to it, I figured I'd get a general consensus before I actually put it out. All right. Salazar and Wick, too. Yeah, people are looking forward to that one, too. Although that will be still a slight bit of a wait. Scarface? I've never really gotten into Scarface. I got the popcorn ready, especially for that day. Geez, you're really prepared. Hey, it's good to be. I mean, heck, I'm freaking 5 stories ahead on YouTube. That's being ahead. But hey, you seem to be just on the same level, especially with a snack for just the occasion. I like that. That's dedication to the cause, is what that is. And I know it's going to draw a lot of attention, Walking Dead and Cars fans. I've heard plenty about Squid Game and seen very few small things, but I've never gotten into it as a sole thing, and honestly, I don't know if I ever will. So, sorry, no. Okay, I'm gonna end it here because my outro for the Q&A this time is different because I'm spicing it up for the Q&A outros, especially now, considering what is coming on the channel next week. So, we got 4 ideas for the stream here. Carol not being exiled, Governor taking the prison, Michonne going to France instead of Daryl, and Virginia and the Governor swapping. Thank you guys for the 4 ideas of the stream. Thank Kaz for being the second moderator besides King Devin. And I love how King Devin said, welcome to the mod club. And with that, thank you guys for the idea of the stream. And remember, as always, for those of you who didn't make the stream, didn't get to recommend the ideas that you wanted to, and that kind of stuff, you can recommend any and all ideas. Doesn't matter how many, doesn't matter where on the channel or Discord or anything. You can recommend as many as you want anywhere, and I will find them, and I'll be able to see what I can do. And also, I'll be on the Discord right after the stream, playing with Kaz on there. You can watch us on the Discord. It's on the description of every single one of my streams and videos. And I'll be on the server tomorrow also. And then look forward to next week, especially. Monday will be the finale to the Cliff story, as well as the movie for it. Wednesday will be the single-parter of the John Wick story, hinting at the Daniel and Wick full story. And Friday will be the beginning of the McQueen story, which so many of you are looking forward to. And then you'll just see me for the next Q&A straight after. With all that said and out of the way, once again, thank you for those who joined and recommended ideas. And I will see you guys later.